Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of In the Kitchen. And today, as promised, we're going to be working with fingerling potatoes. Now, I know a lot of you may not know what these are. A lot of you probably know what these are. But before we get into that, I want to just give a big thanks to everyone who's been supporting my channel. Everybody who subscribed, everybody who liked, everybody who sent in comments. Keep everything coming. Really appreciate everything that you're doing. Alright, with that being said, let's jump into these potatoes. Now, these are fingerling potatoes. Notice these in the bag. Put those to the side. We're going to be working with these right here though. Now, these out of the bag have already been washed and we're going to prepare them. But there are actually two separate steps to the preparation of these potatoes. The first, we're going to actually boil them for about 10 minutes till they get just a little tender. Then we're going to take them out, we're going to season them, and then we're going to pop them into the oven for about another 20 to 25 minutes. So let's get into it. Alright, so as I said before, this is our fingerling potato. You get the name, hence it looks similar to a finger, if you can see that. They look like little fingers. And what we're going to do is we're going to slice these in half, and then we're going to put them in a pot and boil them with some salt water. So let's do that. Alright, so now that we have these potatoes all cut up nice and neat, we sliced all of them in half. Now, what I really like about this potato is it's not as starchy as a regular plain Idaho potato. And these actually already have a little bit of give. So they already kind of soften up for you. And these potatoes actually have a decent amount of its own natural sugar. And what happens is, as they tend to bake, they caramelize on their own. So really nice little potato. Let's go ahead and get these in the pot, get some salt in the water, bring these up to a boil, and we'll come back and we'll talk about another dish that we're gonna prepare today. All right, so now we're over here at the stove. We have our pot back here. If you notice, it's no heat, no nothing coming out of it. That's because with potatoes, you wanna always, what you call, bring them up. So we're gonna put the potatoes in the cold water with the salt. We're gonna turn them on, bring those up to a boil, and then we'll check on them. But while that's going on, if you notice, I did have some rosemary sitting on the cutting board, and I had a clove of garlic. So what we're gonna do is, since rosemary is a very aromatic herb, a lot of people don't like the strong flavor that it presents. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a infused oil. And what that means is we're gonna put this in a pan, we're gonna put the garlic in a pan, we're gonna put just a little bit of cracked black pepper in a pan with some olive oil. We're gonna bring that just to the point of boiling, and we're just gonna let it sit and let this simmer inside of there. And what this does is it releases its oil into the olive oil, and you actually get a flavored oil. So I've already cut the garlic up, about 4 pieces. This is the pan we're gonna use. And what you wanna do is just kind of bruise this a little bit, break it so that it actually releases any oils that it has. Put that in the pot, put that in the pan. We're gonna take some extra light olive oil that we have here, pour that, just like so. Then we're gonna take our pot for our potatoes. We have about 6 cups of water in here. We're just gonna put some salt in here. The best way to season potatoes when you're boiling is to go ahead and salt your water. That way all the potatoes absorb the salt from the water and you don't have to try and season the potatoes when you get them out. It's really hard to season potatoes after they've cooked, unless it's mashed potatoes. All those in, get that turned on, and we'll check back on it later on. Okay, so as you can see, our olive oil and our rosemary and garlic have come to a little sizzle. We're gonna crack a little black pepper over in there, and we're gonna take it off the heat and just let it simmer. So we'll strain this and we're going to use it to season those potatoes when they get finished. All right, so our potatoes are finally out of the water. Now, the thing that you want to test them for is actually fork tenderness. So you just take one, and if you can just stick a fork in it and it just barely just kind of eases in and doesn't break apart, that means those potatoes are ready. So the potatoes are fork tender. We got them sitting right here. Now, let's go ahead and season these and get them into our pan and get them in the oven. Now, if you remember, we did the infused oil, the infused olive oil with the rosemary and the garlic and the black pepper. We have a little parsley. I have a little bit more rosemary just for some more flavor. We're not gonna put too much because, like I said, this is a very strong herb. We have our salt and pepper. So this is a very minimalistic dish, very rustic, classic, just a few ingredients, but really good, really good. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna take these off this stem. Once I get them off the stem, I'll just give them a quick rough chop. All right. Take these potatoes, get them into our bowl for mixing. Get that last one out of there. I'm trying to stay behind. Gotta go with everybody else. All right. Our oil. Now we're not gonna put all this, just enough to coat the potatoes. Like I said, this is olive oil. It's just extra light. Parsley. That rosemary that we just chopped up. Salt. Now we already did put salt in the water to season the potatoes, but we put just a little bit more on. Black pepper. And we're just gonna toss this bowl just like so. You can smell the rosemary, you can smell the garlic. I mean, smell it. All right. I think everything is nicely, evenly coated. Now, you may not do this, but I like to taste all my food. So I'm just gonna take a small one, even though it's not all the way done, and I'm gonna bite it. It's hot, but a little more salt, a little more pepper. Rosemary is good. Rosemary flavor is good. It's not too strong. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in our crisper pan, just like so. Spread them out. Try to keep them from touching. That'll help them to cook evenly and brown evenly on all sides. And then we are going to pop these in the oven, 400 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. We're gonna say 15, we'll check on them in 15. We don't want them to get too dark. But 400 degrees, 15, 20 minutes, and we'll be back. So while our potatoes are in the oven roasting, if you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you notice I talked about we're gonna do maybe a little surprise dish. So here we go. For all of my seafood lovers, you'll enjoy this. If you're not a seafood lover, just turn your head. Shrimp. So today we're going to be making, you ever heard of the Maine lobster rolls, the famous lobster rolls with the lobster, the mayo, the green onions, lemon juice, things like that? Well, we're going to make the shrimp roll today. All right, so like I said, we got our shrimp right here. This is about 7 pieces of shrimp. The shrimp roll, or what? So we're going to just call it that. But it's really a glorified shrimp salad that we're gonna put in a bun. So we have our shrimp here. We have a few other ingredients. We have our green onion. We have a stalk of celery. We have a little bit of mayo. This is in a third a cup, but it's not a full third a cup. That's a lot of mayo. We're not gonna use all that mayo, just a little bit. A little bit of parsley, some Frank's Red Hot, because we put that on everything. Little joke. Lemon, salt and pepper. So let's go ahead and get started putting this together. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our shrimp, and they don't have any seasoning on them right now. So we got our salt, crack a little bit of salt, we got our black pepper. Now these shrimp we're gonna grill on the stove in our grill pan, but before we do that, we're gonna press this lemon out just a little bit. Slice it in half. Now we're gonna keep half of this to the side, and we're gonna take the other half and we're gonna juice it over into the shrimp, just like so. All right. We're gonna sprinkle just a little bit of parsley, and gonna give that a toss, just like so. Everything mixed in good, just like that. Boom. And we're gonna sit these to the side and let them marinate for about 10 minutes or so. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and make that dressing for the shrimp. So we got a lemon. We're gonna squeeze that lemon, and we wanna put our hand right here just to catch any seeds that may fall in. You don't wanna bite into one of those seeds when you're eating your shrimp, I guarantee you. We're gonna sit that to the side. We have our green onion here. We're just gonna cut off that green part, put the other to the side, and we're gonna just slice this up. And sliced right here. Toss that in with our lemon juice. Now, we're gonna dice this celery, and a lot of people just chop the celery. They have a hard time dicing this celery. Now, this celery's already been cleaned, but let me show you a little trick that helps you to dice it and to get even pieces. We're gonna cut it in half, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it, stand it up, put our knife down like this, and we're gonna just pat on it, just like so, and that actually flattens the celery out. Cut it into strips and dice it. Nice little squares. And that is the easy way to dice celery. Perfect. Got our celery in there. Now, a little more parsley. I'm gonna take my spoon and sprinkle a little bit of parsley in there. Salt, pepper, and Frank's Red Hot, because you know we do with this stuff. A few drops of Frank's, just like that. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up this other half of celery, just for that texture. Probably use half of that. Put the rest up to the side. Let's dice this up, just like so. Got it diced up. Into the pan we go. Now, our mayo. Now, when it comes to the mayo, you can use as much mayo or as less as you want. It doesn't matter. I don't like a whole lot of mayo. So what I'm gonna do is take about half of what I had in here. That's about 2 teaspoons that I have. And we're just gonna mix this up and let all these flavors get nice and mixed in. And what we're gonna do is go ahead and check on our shrimp. We'll grill that. We'll wait for it to cool, and then we'll mix all of it together and we'll get ready to plate it. Okay, so we made it to the stove. We got our grill pan out. It's already hot. I got my shrimp right here. They've been sitting for about 10 minutes. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cook them on each side about a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes at the max. You don't want them to get too tough. Then we'll take them out and we'll get ready to put that salad together. So when cooking your shrimp, you always want to be careful and make sure you don't overcook them, because what happens is they get all rubbery and tough. And these seem to be doing just fine. We're gonna pop them in here one at a time. Perfect. Shrimp are done. Now let's get back over here and we're gonna put this salad together and get ready to plate this dish up. Okay, so we got our shrimp right here. We let them cool just a little bit. Now we're going to take them out and we're just going to cut these in half. So I'm going to take them out of here. Set this to the side. We're going to cut these in half. Just like so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take that dressing that we made with the celery and the parsley and the green onions, and we're going to put our shrimp directly into this. Just like so. Mix all this up, and this is what's going to go in our roll. Now that we have this, since we have this mixed up, we're going to put it in the fridge, let it chill for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll be ready to plate as soon as those potatoes come out of the oven. And they smell wonderful. The rosemary, the parsley, the garlic from the oil, everything has kind of came together, and you got a nice aroma that's coming off these potatoes. And we have our little shrimp that we made for the roll. This is the roll. I actually grilled it on both sides, kind of giving it a traditional feel. Now, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to put it on the plate. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open this roll up nice and wide, and then we're going to take some generous spoonfuls of this shrimp, and we're going to pop it right in the middle. A little sprinkle of parsley on top. And one final ingredient to this shrimp roll, blackened seasoning. So we're just going to take a little bit of that and sprinkle it across the top. Now for our potatoes. Now, we got different colored potatoes, purple and yellow. So we'll get a little bit of both. And there you have it. The shrimp roll with oven roasted fingerling potatoes. Hope you're able to make this. Hope you like it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you get those notifications. And until next time, Average Tech Guy out.